Hello?
Hello. Seems like we've lost our Stallion. How we
Our
doing?
Stallion, I think you're quiet again.
You've run away.
You hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear, Travesty.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mideyah.
We shall continue with the show. Hello and good evening to everyone. Welcome to the Family Affair podcast. Tonight, I am the host. I am Mideyah, and we have Pudding and Travesty in the house.
Hiya.
Can you hear me?
It seems like Alstalio, you've disappeared. You're very, very quiet.
Yeah, very quiet, our Stallion.
Wait, let me see. Hello. Can you hear me?
So shall we continue?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you
Yeah,
loud
we
and
can hear
clear.
now.
Is that better? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome.
Welcome. Okay. Wait, I didn't want to start off with this thing, this post we saw today.
What post?
Which one?
I saw a post about hold on, let me see if I can find it. I would have saved it in my gallery. The disparity between men and women. Where are we? Let's see. Oh, here we are. So basically, I came across this. This is courtesy of Rollo Tomasi. He's a bit of a how do you say it? He's one of these guys who tries to open men's eyes to the disparity between men and women and the unfair advantage women have over men, and that men should try and get their power back. Anyway, so a guy wrote on his own post, hope you're having a better weekend than me. Found out my girlfriend cheated having a fivesome, yes, sex with 4 guys in a bathroom of a house party this weekend after taking hours to confess. 2020 certainly hasn't disappointed. Send me social distance virtual hugs. Anyway, that wasn't the most shocking thing. What for me was shocking was the replies. Anyway, so one woman wrote, a real man wouldn't be here tweeting he would be fighting for his relationship and trying to understand why she felt she had to go to other men.
Fighting for what relationship? That relationship's dead and gone. The fact that she went with four or 5 different men, it tells me a lot that she was no good to start with. Because a real woman would discuss the problems they're having in their relationship. And at worst, if she felt lonely and neglected, would have probably found another man, built up a relationship, and then possibly dumped the man she's with. That's possibly... That's the worst case scenario. But someone who's decided to have a, whatever you want to call it, with 4 or 5 different men, she was no good anyway, so get rid. Good riddance.
Now, and I want to read some more about this before we chime into more. Someone agreed with the woman's last text saying, I agree completely. The fact that it was only 4 other dudes really shows how alone she was in the relationship. Excuse me. And then the person wrote, yeah, exactly. There are ups and downs in relationships, and only a strong man who loves you will take the time to understand his role in why she did what she did. And then another woman at the bottom was like, confirmed everything by saying 100%, I hope she's okay wherever she is. And I'm like, wait a second.
The STD clinic.
I'm like, well, yeah.
Possibly COVID clinic.
Or pregnant with 50 women, 50 kids, you know.
No. Alstalio, I think you should go around the table and hear from the real women's advice on this panel tonight, starting with our dear Travesty. Please tell us your take on this, my dear.
Well, personally, if a girl can put herself on them kind of levels, she was never a good girl anyway. I don't care what relationship she's in. Obviously, she should have more self-worth.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand why you would need 4 or 5 men batterying you at a party.
That's the word. Yeah.
They haven't took you out on a date. They've not promised you no further relationship after the fact. So why would you degrade yourself to perform such an act? Or obviously you're just a freak. The man you was with weren't freaky enough for you. That's why you had to do what you had to do. And I don't think you've got no respect for yourself, and obviously no respect for your relationship or your partner either. So no, I don't agree. I don't agree with what you done. I think that's terrible. If you are having troubles or ups and downs in your relationship, try and speak to your partner before you go and do things like this. If it is surely the end, then have the decency to at least tell them that the relationship is over before you go and disrespect them like this. because like, you're the only person who's going to look ugly at this. You know what I mean? Even though the Facebookers are saying, "Oh, I hope she's all right," and this and that. Really and truly, if that's anybody you know closely or it's your family members, you're not going to be going, "Oh, I hope she's all right." You'll be thinking, she's a skit. So no, I don't agree.
Go on, Pudding.
You must do better.
Oh, goodness me. I agree with what you were saying not too long ago, Mideyah. For me, that isn't loneliness. That's just greed. Yeah. It really is greed. Like, that you went to the extreme with that, like, really and truly. Like, I'm still trying to, like, you just try and, like, not envision it, but, like, thinking what made you want to go that far, like, really and truly. Like, she went from 0 to 100 real quick, like, honestly. I wasn't expecting you to read that out, I'll tell you honestly.
I'm sure she'll use the she's probably used the excuse that, oh, I was drunk, or you know what I mean, or
I'm sorry,
they took advantage of me,
like or I was vulnerable and they took advantage.
You know, it's always somebody else's fault.
You got to take some responsibility. When you're overly drunk, you can't even. Well, then you will be bought like reaching a different in breach of a different area there. If it's the case that she was drunk and that happened, because when you're drunk, you do know your limits. I'd hope. I know this is speaking for myself. She just wanted to do it. Can't even lie.
Of course she did.
You wanted to do it. To me, it sounded like you wanted to do it. You know.
Definitely disgraceful.
Yeah. So there you hear it from us, Al Stalio.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it's kind of weird, the fact that everyone backed up the woman. And obviously we spoke about this earlier, Mideyah, that obviously these women are from a different sort. They probably come from the same cloth as the girl, and that's why they can identify. You know,
it was probably her for different accounts.
Probably. Yeah. But I think it's I would say if she's freaky, let's say in this case she's freaky and she wanted that sort of stuff, she should have spoke to her guy and gave him the option. I think it's always important to give your partner, if you're not feeling like your partner lives up to what your fantasies or expectations, it's important to talk to them and say, look, you know, I need this, or I would like this. You know, your partner can't give you everything. Nobody's partner can give them everything they need. Even if someone says, I'm completely fulfilled in my relationship, there's stuff that the partner still lacks, which they could get from somebody else. So I think it's important to be open discussion. That's what I advocate it as, open discussion with your partner and telling the truth. A lot of men tend to just lie and, you know, tiptoe around the woman because they don't want to get her mad or don't want to rock the boat. But I'm like, talk to your wife, let her understand the true you. I always say a lot of men are not real with their wives ever, and a lot of women are probably not real with their men either. They're not telling them, you know, want to have a threesome tonight or whatever, or want to do this, you know, and jump off a cliff. They never do that. So I think it's important for men to start manning up. We're 2020, you know, I'm always using that the date and the date. We're in 2020. It's time for us to be open and honest with our partners and tell them, look, I'm not that way. This is not the real me. Because over the last, like, let's say 100 years, we've been indoctrinated to believe that men, once they get married, to get a girlfriend, all their sexual desires, all their fantasies just drops off. It's all supposed to be left on the side at the door, and now they're gonna conform and become non-human.
Or maybe, Al Stalio, sorry for cutting you. Maybe, Al Stalio, a lot of these couples have the Boris Johnson syndrome. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I could, maybe I couldn't. Maybe it should, maybe it shouldn't. Maybe they've got that. You never know.
Yeah, true.
But I think Boris Johnson should take the book out of Donald Trump, a page out of Donald Trump books, actually, and just be honest, just be blunt.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In the relationship, they maybe have the Boris Johnson syndrome, and that's why they don't comply and be honest.
I don't know. Either way, what the girl did was, I'm not going to say disgraceful, because that's what she wanted to do. She's entitled to do that if she wants. Yeah, but that's from your point of view. But from me, I look at it
disgraceful from the man's point of view.
Yeah, from the man's point of view, of course. Yeah. But the fact that the worst people are the people who are actually backing her up and trying to make the guy look bad, regardless, you know, even if he didn't make any mistake, he could have been the best guy. But for some reason, because he doesn't fulfill her sexually, in this case, she's allowed to go and, as Travis said, be battered by 4 or 5 guys at the same time.
To add to that, you can guarantee those people who are backing her up, I bet they're not there to comfort her lonely nights now. But then again, she may not be lonely because she's got these guys that can battery her whenever she wants. So maybe she's one.
Forever ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, do we have any topics? Do we have any topics today?
Yes, I've got one. Please let me get this one in. I think me and Travesty will enjoy doing this one. Right. I'm going to ask it as it comes to my head because I never writ it in there. Do people who are house proud or love to keep their home nice, are they materialistic? Would you call them materialistic, or are they just house proud people? I just want to hear the difference. Me and Travesty was talking about this about a week or so ago, and she thought that people would look at us as materialistic because we like to keep our home nice, and we might buy things that look nice. They may not necessarily be expensive, but they look nice, so it makes your home look expensive. Would you say then that that person is materialistic or just a house proud person?
Well, you know what, Travesty? I mean, Travesty, what am I talking about?
Yeah, go on.
Well, in regards to that, following on from obviously, as I said earlier, I think I brought this up with somebody whose child was jumping over the sofas, and I said there, and I was like, no, this is not in my book acceptable. I said, I work hard, I pay a lot of money for my stuff. I want it to last as long as possible. So I've then got my money to spend on other things, not the stuff. What you decided to mash down.
Yeah.
So does that make me materialistic because I like to keep my stuff nice?
Yeah, that's what I wanted
if anybody else comes and disrespects it when you weren't there in the cold or working long hours and things like that. You know what I mean? Probably
or signing for someone to get people.
Yeah, and also I know some people say, they're there to be used. Yeah, by me. You know what I mean? In the way I choose to use them because I bought them. Just like if I buy my own car and I crash it, nobody's to blame but me if I've crashed it. But if you're coming in there, doing my tyres and scratching the paintwork and mashing it up, of course I'm going to get vexed because it's not your property, it's my property. And it's for me to do what I want with it and vice versa, you know what I mean? I don't want to be materialistic for having and liking nice things and keeping it nice and not wanting anybody else to disrespect it. Well, if you are materialistic, then I'd rather be called materialistic.
So what is the difference then? Alstalio, could you enlighten us? What is the difference between someone who buys the nice things and keeps it nice? What's the difference between someone like that and someone who's materialistic? Because I think it's a very thin line, isn't there? What do you think?
Your own, what's the word? I'm missing the word. This is your own. Oh man, sorry, I can't think of the word. But it's the way you think about things.
Yeah.
This is the way you think about things. Everyone's different, you know. So if you decide you want to have a nice living room, for example, like a lot of British people always have this. What do you call it? A cozy room or a posh room?
Yeah, go on.
I didn't realize that's actually a trend in England. That people always tend to have a nice posh room where no one's really allowed in.
Yeah,
I think that's a cost.
It's called an entertaining room.
That's a cost. No, but no one. The thing is, actually, no one's ever allowed in. That's the thing. The room just stays empty. It just looks nice.
It's their nice little showroom.
That's a British tradition that people have this in the house. And I'm like, what a waste of room.
I'll tell you now. Back in the day, that room, as Travesty did point out, it was actually a guest room, so it was always kept nice. So if you had guests round, like say somebody official or a neighbour that you have, somebody a friend of
somebody
yours,
you go and chat your business if your yard was dirty.
Yeah, that's why I think that's where that stemmed from, to be honest. And people have kept that up. No. What was you saying? What were you saying before that, Alstalio, when I jumped in on you?
What I would say is, I think a lot of people, it depends on how you're looking at it, really. I think it's okay to have a guest room or posh house if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important to recognize that, like, if you've got 17 kids or you have a lot of visitors, you might not be able to keep up, without expending an exponential amount of time of cleaning. You'll be able to keep this place up to the standard that you want. I think you can only have and expect to have a really spick and span apartment or flat or house once you're living alone. And then once you're alone, I think it's okay to be all right and say, no, I want my house clean. But when you got guests coming, like if you throw a party for 30 people, are you going to tell every single one of these 30 people that, look, don't mess up my house?
No. What you would say is, this is off guard. And this is where you can go and entertain. I think that's what somebody would actually do. You obvious, and plus, people who know you that type of person would either not come or they'd respect your house rules.
That's true. Definitely.
I think it's either one. I think they're El Stalio. I do actually see it that way. But we still haven't got to it. Is it materialistic, or is it just somebody who's house proud, or they just like to have their nice things?
Well, it is materialistic, isn't it, in a way? Because it's your, or whoever the person in question is, if they're worried about their stuff, you know, if something breaks, they've attach so much emotions to that piece of material that when that breaks, they're going to feel pain from this. But if you detach yourself from this material and the fact that you got a cozy room that might get messy, you're no longer materialistic. You're just living life. You're enjoying life. I think that's the same when you buy a brand new car, and you'll see it if someone buys a brand new car, it'll be very rare that they let someone else drive it. That goes off after 3 or 4 months. Then they'll be like, you know, I've had the car now. I've drove it in, you know, whatever. I don't care anymore. But the first day, everyone's like, my car. So if anyone scratches that car, people are so hurt. Oh my God, I've worked, because they've attached emotion to that material. You know what I mean? Yeah. But really, if you buy, that's why I always advocate buying cheap stuff. Because if a cheap thing breaks, you don't ever attach any emotion to it, because you're like, it cost me £1. I don't care.
Guess what, I'll tell you. I can actually back you up on that one, because if I've got my little budders, and some of those budders cost me as little as £1, and I still wouldn't want somebody to break it. Only because, not because I'm attached to it, because I've set it nice how I want it, and I don't see why it should be disturbed.
And I don't, you know what I feel as well, on that note, you saying that, Mideyah, you're valuing the fact that you went out your way, or someone's bought that for you. You're just valuing it, you're looking after it. That's what I see it as, you know, you're just taking care of something that is for you. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I'm exactly the same way.
I think it's more of the effort in it. And that's the thing. I think what's more important is the time. It's the time which is undervalued. The time that goes into something, the time that you spend at work, the time that you spend on cleaning, the time you spend on making money to get whatever you want to get. And I think that's what really hurts. I think if you attach your chain of thought to time and not to the actual thing, the object, I think then you can see the true value of things.
So that's why we see our true value, because as Travesty said, it's the time she's took to get out in the cold weather, the warm weather, to do her job and earn her money, aches and pains, and she's earned her money. She's enjoyed buying what she's wanted to buy and put it in her home. And then for someone to come in and mess it up or mash it up, of course she's going to feel a way about it. So it's about her value. It's not about being materialistic. It's the effort and the time she's put in it.
But would I say, isn't it important to attach your time to different stuff that make, you know, bring you more joy, as opposed to materialistic objects like spending time with your family and worrying about that stuff, or going for walks, going on holiday, making memories. That's where I would attach my time, because no one can steal them from me. My memory the best pictures are in your head, basically.
Yeah.
And no one could take the memories away from me. Anyone could steal my car tomorrow. That's easy. So I don't attach much value to that. Even though it cost me a lot of money to buy it, I don't attach too much value to it. Memories, I attach value to making memories, flying away, going spending weekends at the lake, or going on a camping trip with the kids. That's where you should attach your value. And then when you realise when you've changed your settings to that.
They do.
Can I say something? Can I just say something? I just thought of something. Yeah. Al Stalio, if I was to come to your home, and spend a couple of nights there, and I was just someone who was just messy, just didn't care. And I was you saying what you're saying about materialism and whatnot. If I was to come and just all of a sudden just be playing basketball, for instance, in your house, and it smashed the window, how would you react?
You say it don't matter, because you having life and you having experience.
Think of it, winter's coming in as well.
And it's a good memory. Stop.
The thing is, the thing is, that's why you have insurance.
Insure your borders, Mideyah.
I know you guys, you Brits don't know about insurance, but in Germany, we have insurance for everything. So if you come and break a window, I know it's going to get replaced within 24 hours because I have insurance for this. It's called house insurance. It's called house insurance. So if you got as long as your house insurance, bring up another.
Right there, Stalio, when you claim off that house insurance, the premiums go up. Why do you want to pay more money?
That's not true.
Taking your money from your from your experiences, which you could be paying for your kids. Instead, you're paying high insurance.
Just I'm callous.
Just because of Pudding's negligence smashing up my house. No, that's what I mean. It's a ripple effect. And just because at the time you think it's nothing, it actually is. Because that person could have been saving so long for 10 years to get that one item, which it took you 10 minutes to smash up. How they're going to feel at the end. I know it's an experience, but it's still something they've aspired to.
No.
Do you know what I mean? They might not have no kids or family members. They may just be a person on their own, and that's what they can put their efforts into. Doesn't mean you should come along outside of that and say, oh, well, I don't care because I don't care about material things, that I'm going to come and smash up your stuff.
I mean, the effort. I appreciate the effort that goes into anything. You know, there's a lot, you know, you got to appreciate that. And I'm not trying to invalidate this argument, but I'm saying is if you say for example, I'm not telling anyone to buy cheap, but you know,
I've just explained that I did buy cheap, but I can tell you now, a lot of my ornaments are actually cheap. Now, if you come into my house, just because the way it looks, you think they're expensive. It's because the way I design them and the way I look after them. So it's not about the pricing.
You know, I think I'd be more bothered. Yeah. I think I'd be more bobothered with the fact that I'd have to clean up. Like, I don't like, for example, when my kids... I'd be more bothered about... I'd be more bothered about expending the energy to clean up when my kids make a mess on the floor, like they drop, let's say they're over the bag of flour and they start messing. I'd be more bothered about that than the fact that the flour has been wasted or...
to be honest, I agree, Alstalio, because when Pudding said what she was saying, I was then going to come from a different angle. I was going to then add to what she said and said, all right, then, imagine I've come to your home. It's already messy. You and your missus are tired. The kids are still making mess. And then I come in and I join in adding extra mess. And then I don't care that you're worn out already. How would you feel? You've already got to clean up what the kids are doing, and then you've had that extra mess on top. And it's a consistent thing that's going on. It's over days. How would you deal with it then? It doesn't matter because it's family memories.
I'll tell you to get out.
That's what I think. A lot of people end up getting a family member.
You gotta go. £35, Premier Inn. Hotels are available.
Is that how cheap it is?
I love this one.
Yeah.
I love this one. Go on.
When I went last week, before I went to Centre Park, so I only paid £35 to stay in the Premier Inn overnight in Manchester. Opposite the Old Trafford Centre as well.
Really? Premier Inn? I thought I might go there at the weekend. I don't know, man. Premier Inn.
Do we?
No. All right. Did we have we covered any ground on that? I don't know. I think it is materialistic. It leans more on the side of materialistic. Because I think if you're spending more, like a house has lost its true, meaning. I think what happens is we've made houses so comfortable and so habitual.
Homely.
Yeah, homely.
The thing is, think of it this way, Alstalio. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you're doing in the day, where you're going to.
Your home.
Exactly. So you got to make it comfortable. That's my mentality.
That's actually good to say that. But I'll tell you one thing, like the way we Brits or the Europeans look at a house compared to if you go to somewhere like Brazil and I was in the favela in Brazil. I know it's not a good comparison, but I'm going to say it anyway. And when you look at what they live in, they've got a flat screen TV and a couple of quilts on the floor. That's where they sleep. And the main thing is they've got the TV. I think if the TV breaks, that's their world. They're like, oh, I've got my TV. But everything else is so basic that they don't even care because they know they're spending most of the time outside the house. And I think humans have got so comfortable staying indoors than they're supposed to. I think humans are supposed to be majority outdoors like animals. But we've made it so, we've made the house so important that, look, the government, it's gone so bad that the government now well, you want to be indoors, and also stay indoors. And that's going to be the first time when it officially comes in that we have to stay indoors. It's going to be the first time when everyone's clawing to get out. I want to go out. No, you're inside now. You wanted it all the time and that's it. We're indoors in the house, then we're inside our cars, then we're inside the office, then we're back in our cars, then we're back inside the house. And that's all we ever do. We're just indoors. We're never outside. I don't know.
I think in countries like Brazil, though, Estalio, You're going to be outside more because it's a hotter place. Over here, it's like 9 months of the year, it's freezing. So you got to make your home as comfortable and as cozy as possible. I don't mean by just putting all, like they were saying, putting all expensive stuff, but you've got to be able to enjoy being at home if that's the only safe haven you've got. And we don't, and times are difficult at the moment. So, you know, what? I don't know. It's just crazy. Crazy. Got to do what you got to do, don't you?
And furthermore, you can't even question the Western world because we weren't born into being outside. You've got to really be realistic. The most of the third worlds, they're used to, and most of them have grown up on the outsiders, and that is partly because it is warmer as well as being poor. No, the Western world is renowned for being colder. How would you like to be outside in the cold all the time, living outside? It's not really reasonable to think that way.
I'm going to push back against the current, because even though I don't like the cold, I'm the worst person for the cold. I do believe the body adapts to the cold.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there's people who live in like Canada in the winter, and there's people who live in like Antarctica, and it doesn't get cold now. Russian people are always outside, and they got minus 50 degrees. So I think it's just we got comfortable. That's the thing. We're comfortable, and
is there anything wrong with being comfortable though?
Well, no, I think it's fine to be comfortable. And
I think at the end of the day, when you speak like that, I think you should adapt the thinking how the rich people would think. They want things as cushy and as comfortable as possible. So should the basic man.
Yeah.
So if it's comfortable and cushy, we should accept it and embrace it. Why should we want to live in? Because to me, being in the outside world is like living a hardship. I'm sorry, but I don't agree that man should have to keep living hardship if they don't have to. So I think being outside should be a choice rather than something that should be a basic need. No. So we have to agree to disagree. It's no. You were saying that we should spend more time outside.
Yeah, I mean, humans in general should spend more time outside.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In general, it shouldn't have to be that way. In general, it should be man should live in the cushiest, comfortablest place and world as possible. Simple.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be like that, but for some reason, the only people who've managed to achieve that goal is pets. That's it. Just pets.
Pets ain't like us, though.
Yeah, but pets are the only ones who live comfortably. I think I said this before. They're the only ones who live comfortable, inside, chilling, having a good life, doing nothing apart from smiling every now and again when the owner comes home. And that's it. Best life. Living the best
sound
life.
Like you envy that life.
I envy that life. Of course, I envy the life of a dog, man. Some dogs get... They're pampered. They're really pampered.
Okay, I think we've done enough of this topic. It's moved from materialism to dogs being pampered.
Yeah. Do you have any more? Do you have one more topic?
Yes, I think we should go on to a more serious one.
Oh my God.
Yes, I think we should. With this one, I've always wondered this, why are mothers and some fathers so quick to leave their children with people they've just met, or especially new partners? Why are we so quick to leave our children with new people? I just want to know why we do that. So a woman's met a man, she's fell in love at first sight, she's got children in the house, she's thought, I'll bring this man in, and she then decides, I need to go to work, or I need to go can you babysit? Can you watch my kids for me? Why are people so quick to do that before they totally know someone? And the reason I ask that is because I've seen a few posts recently that people are doing this, and then to find out that the new person is either hurting their children, or, those sorts of things are going on, molesting, hurting the children, all because parents or people are not taking time to know someone. And even when you take time, you still would never know. Why would you leave your children around these people?
I feel, can I just say something quickly? Yeah, I feel like you saying that and me really sinking that in.
Yeah.
If it's in the UK, I feel like specifically England, they have this attitude of like, it won't happen to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Won't happen to me. That's far-fetched. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a little bit of that, the callousness.
Yeah.
Trusting too quickly, or sometimes it's the case of just not really caring.
Not
and
really
neglecting,
caring.
Neglecting the signs.
And unfortunately, this is majority around the younger generation rather than the older one, because there's a horrible story where this woman, if you look in the thing, you'll see it, it's actually in the podcast. This woman just met this man and she brought him straight in on her 5-year-old daughter. And what did he do? Exactly. I don't even have to spell it out for you. And this was someone she just met. And I'm thinking, when will people ever learn? It's a well-known fact, because I've watched documentaries on it, that especially paedophiles, they will target single parents just to get to the children.
They target just get lucky.
No, some of them get lucky, but a lot of them do target single parents because they've got children in the home and they can get in there and molest. Mm-hmm. So this is the reason why I wanted to bring it up. So, the people listening out there, be more wary, be more alert. Vigilant. That all that glistens isn't gold. This person may come in like they're fantastic. I'm not just talking about mothers. I'm talking about fathers do it too. I'm talking about we bring in friends, and and these people come in like they're wonderful people. And because they come across that way, you're not taking time to know them, and you may ignore red flags. That something might not be too right with the person, and before you know it, the damage is done in your home. So be aware, be more alert, care about your children more. So that I thought was something that should be brought up. So because I've seen it recently being popped up on the social media quite a bit. These horror stories happening. The worst one was this. It was actually a man, and this was in America. He had children, and he had this new girlfriend, and he'd have the kids of the weekend, and he'd leave them with this new woman. And when he come back, sometimes they were a bit scared. They had different sorts of emotions going on. Sometimes they had little cuts and bruises, explained away. Then the one particular time, came back, the child was absolutely battered. The girl had fled. And it came out that she was ill-treating these kids when he was leaving these kids with her. And then he's on Facebook looking sympathy and justice when it was his fault for not getting time to know this woman properly. She'd been doing it for months. So this is what I'm saying. People, please be aware out there. Your children are your life. Be aware who you're leaving your children with. I don't care if you're in love. Your kids still have to come first.
What do you think, Savannah?
I think she's
will have to make a joke of everything.
I think what it is, I think a lot of people are so hurried, and a lot of people don't have babysitters or don't have like a close network where people can be like, I'll take your kids while you go to work and stuff. So people are kind of looking, especially single mothers, they're looking for someone to kind of be that support. They're just grateful, at some point, they're just grateful to be like, I can go to work now without worrying that, someone's looking after the kids. And they're not really thinking of the repercussions of this action.
Yeah.
So I think it's stressing. The way the system's built, it's all stress, man. It's just stress, and sometimes it's unavoidable. You don't know, because people are slick, man. When you first meet somebody,
they are.
Like, man, this is the greatest person I've ever met. Or he or she, and then you only see their colours after a few months, but by then it might already be too late. So
yeah,
I think you just got to be careful. I think everyone, like for me, I would say everyone needs to stay single till they're 35, and then when you meet somebody, I say to any girl I meet, I'm sorry, but I need to 3 years, man, before we're in a relationship. 3 years. We have to get to know each other for 3 years, and then we can talk about relationship. That's it, minimum.
And I'll need to meet you when my kids are in bed or whatnot. When I can't bring you around my children. Sorry, Chuck. You can be around my children when they've left home.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't do it anyway. If I got small kids living with me, I wouldn't.
I don't entertain.
I mean, the thing is, it tends to be more men that do this stuff. I mean, you can't trust women either.
No, women are nasty, because I can categorically state that because I was brought up with a stepmom, they are horrendous. A lot of them. It's very rare you'll hear of a nice stepmom, bar Pudding. Pudding's the only one I know.
Thanks. Thanks,
you're a nice one. I'm talking about a lot of stepmom, bar you two, and I'm being honest, they are horrendous.
Wait, did Travis say what about me?
Yes. No.
Leave Travis, I think you met kids. You met the kids.
What I'm saying, you're talking over me.
Sorry.
Yes, and they can be quite horrible. And as I got to know people growing up, I found out that a lot of people that I knew suffered at the hands of their stepmothers. So, and this is unfortunately in the black race. I'm not talking about other races, and because I wasn't brought up in other races, I'm talking about in the black race. A lot of the stepmothers were absolutely horrendous and nasty. And I'm talking about years ago. So it shows that, the stories that you got, the wicked stepmother and Cinderella, it's a very true thing that was based off reality. Believe me.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes. Yeah, they can be quite nasty, especially if they have stepdaughters and it's daddy's favourite. They can, be quite horrible because they feel like the daughter's getting more attention than them, and you'd be surprised what sparks them off. So yes, it is a lot of them are the stepmothers. You have to be very careful.
Oh,
yeah.
I think on that
note, I just thought I'd put that in.
That's good. I think on that note we can call it time on the podcast, because I got nothing to add to that. I don't know. Anyone got anything to add to that? I don't know. I never had a stepmom, to be fair. I had a stepdad. Actually, wait, let me stop this music a sec. I had a stepdad.
Yeah.
I had a stepdad.
And he was a nice person. Don't fight.
Just roll the music.
He was a nice person. Pudding, don't believe anything he's going to say. Pudding.
No, he was a cool guy. I liked him.
Yeah.
But in fact, if anyone was bad, it was us.
No, it was you.
So not only is the evil step-parents.
You were just trying. Typical trying.
What about the kids? What about the kids and all this? The kids are the ones who are the bad guys.
I was a favourite.
You was a favourite.
I was a favourite.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I don't know, man. All right, let me start the music again. All right, Mideyah, you want to start this week?
I will say, please be aware and love your children and put them first. Thank you.
Okay. Pudding.
Tying in with the final topic, I would like to shout out Alexandra Rose, in fact. Go on Instagram and follow Alex Rose Vets. She's an anti-child trafficking activist. I've been following her recent. She's opened my eyes to a lot of things to do with children and with COVID as well. So if you've got the chance, if you've got Instagram, check it out. I'm not sure she has Facebook. You'll have to double check. A lot of her accounts keep getting shut down through the platforms, but keep it alive, keep it up and running.
Alex Rose.
Yeah, Alexandra Rose. Alex Rose Vets on Instagram.
Okay.
Travesty?
One wise woman once said to me, the kids come first.
Oh, okay. And I would just add to that, not all you are angels. So, yeah. Don't believe them all the time. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, night, night.
Good night.